The 7 Crimes of Kullervo update didn't bring just the Kullervo Warframe, it also brought a brand new weapon, his signature weapon, by the name of the Rauta. Is it any good? Should you build it? Should you farm it? Well, let's find out. As always, my name is Leyzar, and I got a couple of builds lined up. Something cheap, affordable, something that a more newer player can get into. But fear not, my veteran friends. We also got the Endgame setup, Prime mods, Galvanized mods. We're going to be taking this puppy to Steel Path and put it through its paces. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the Rauta. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of our regular free shots. Now the Rauta or Rauta is essentially a hitscan shotgun, and this one is going to be spraying the entire screen almost. This is by default with no mods whatsoever. The problem with this one is the fact that it has 4 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you need to reload. The reload is on the quick side, definitely, but unfortunately between each shot, the shotgun must be quote-unquote pumped. So it feels like you're reloading constantly, and this would be the maximum rate of fire with no mods whatsoever. That is pretty much it for functionality. The weapon does have one additional trick up its sleeve, however. Kullervo's signature weapon boasts melee synergy. Every shot that lands increases the wielder's melee combo count, and when Kullervo wields Rauta, it also increases his melee combo duration. Now, fantastic if you want to run a melee weapon and you need a source for melee combo duration, but outside of that, it doesn't really do anything for the actual weapon's power. Let's have a closer look at stats so you see exactly what this one is capable of. Mod capacity is going to be 60 out of 60, and if you just got the Rauta, you jump into actions and you plug in the auto king catalyst to double that mod capacity. If you're a newer player coming to the game and you stumble across this weapon, this is a good single target weapon for lower mastery ranks. 8, 9, 10, 12, something like that, but it's not one of the more powerful weapons in the game. I would recommend you look towards this weapon right now, link in the cards. That said, let's see what we can do with this one, right? My weapon has been formatted a total of 7 times, but I did this so you don't have to. I would recommend you keep off the Rauta until you see the performance of the weapon. For the build I'm recommending you, you're looking at 3 to 4 forma. It's not a super forma heavy weapon, but it's not light either. In the XL slot, you do have a couple of options. You can decrease the recoil, which is quite aggressive on the weapon, with something like counterbalance, or you can increase the fall off distance with 40% projectile flight speed from fatal acceleration. By default, the fall off starts at 6 meters, which is really close to your target, but as you saw there, the spread is humongoid as well, so definitely go for fatal acceleration if you are aware of the fact that some of your pellets, if not most of your pellets, will be landing in walls, not in actual target, depending on the situation, of course. Speaking about pellets, multi-shot is going to be of 8 by default, which is absolutely fantastic. Maximum amount doesn't matter all that much, it's fine. Accuracy is non-existent basically. The fire rate of 0.8, which you saw, the magazine size of 4, noise alarming, it is a shotgun riven disposition of nothing because it is a brand new weapon and it is a semi-automatic trigger. Critical stats are abysmal, half abysmal. Critical chance is only 6%, so it's not worth building crit for this one. Let's say you wanted to. Critical deceleration is gonna offer you the biggest crit chance, benefit 200% by default, and with this one, you're just going to 18%. Now, that's not to say that you cannot build the weapon into critical chance, critical damage if you want to, but you're going to have to go through Warframe buffs. For example, Harrow and his outstanding 4th ability, or Arcane Avenger, or Kavat buff to get bonus additive after critical chance effects. If not, don't go for it. It's as simple as that. It's not worth building crit on the weapon directly. Critical multiplier is not bad. At 2.0x, this is the standard of Warframe. Status per projectile is going to be 12%, which is not overly horrible considering you got a multi-shot of 8. As for the damage layout, you get a massive 1000 damage, and the primary damage is going to be slash, which is, again, really good. About 70-something% of the damage is slash, so it's heavily weighted into slash damage with a decent status chance. Of course, we can exploit this to apply a whole lot of slashes onto our targets. Now, I say a whole lot of slashes, but I'll show you later it doesn't apply slashes that good. But first, a new player-friendly build. Damage with point blank, multi-shot with vigilante, armaments, and Hell's Chamber as well. Essentially, since we're not building crit on the weapon, your choices are limited. What exactly are you going to build on it? So we're going to be building raw damage for our new player-friendly approach. You can go for the vital slash as well, but I believe this one to be a whole lot more impactful, especially at lower levels where flat damage matters a whole lot more. And speaking about flat damage, you got 290 mods on this one, 90% toxin with contagious friend and 90% electricity with charged shell. You can use the 60-60 mods as well. I would recommend for the biggest wallop worth of damage, you go for the 90 mods. You also got Blaze, 60% damage and 60% heat. So essentially on the weapon right now, In addition to the impact, puncture, and slash, you have heat and corrosive. Now, here's the thing. Blaze is obtained from nightmare missions, and you might feel intimidated. Listen, they're nightmare in name only. They're really not that big of a deal. Simply head on over and start farming. If not, you can simply trade for them. And the last one, I went for a little bit of fire rate with shotgun barrage, 90% fire rate. Now, I know what you're saying. Dude, fire rate? With a magazine of 4? Are you crazy? Well, it simply makes the weapon feel a whole lot better. And trust me, the weapon needs to feel a whole lot better about itself. I also got Seeking Fury, 15% reload speed, and 1.2 meters worth of punch through. Now, this again makes the weapon a bit more streamlined in gameplay, and the punch through definitely helps. Essentially, the pellets are going to be going through your initial target and hit multiple. Considering this is an MR8 weapon, and this is a new player-friendly build, we're going to be testing against level 50s. Level 50s corrupted heavy goons. I doubt an MR8 will see level 50s, but in case you do, this is what the weapon can do. Straight for headshots, as per the usual. Like 8 times out of 10, you should be getting yourself a nice one-shot. This is what the weapon can do, but I'm fully aware that some of you might simply not hit the head, so a body shot usually sends your target to about 30%. Now, what you gotta bear in mind, these are corrupted heavy guns, so they do have a whole lot more armor than most, a whole lot more damage mitigation. EHP, if you want to call it like that. Essentially, effective hit points, the combination between the mitigation you get from the armor and, of course, the health of the target. So the effective hit points on these puppies are pretty high for level 50s. That's the kind of performance you can expect out of the weapon with a new player-friendly build. Now, you do have an option for this one. What you can do is go for vital and slash, but for up until level 100, I would keep it to flat damage. That said, if you're a veteran of the game and you have access to essentially all the resources, all the mods, etc., then you're looking for something like this. Galvanized Cell, of course, and Galvanized Savvy. Galvanized Savvy should work brilliantly well on this one. We still retain some flat damage because, again, we don't really build crit on it with Prime Point Blank. We also got Prime Cleanse Corpus, Corrupted, because we are going to be shooting the Corrupted. Even though I'm opposed to faction mods out of principle, we need all the help we can get in the case of this weapon. Prime Charge Shell instead of the normal version. We also got Repeater Clip here, which is 105% fire rate, which is better, but it's only on reload and while aiming and for 9 seconds. So it's a bit more iffy than the standard shotgun barrage. And Blaze, just like before. Now in the XL slot, you might say, dude, put on Galvanized Acceleration. And it's not just the fact that I didn't want to Forma one more time, but it's also the fact that we're going to be using Shotgun Vendetta R5. On shotgun kill within 5 meters of the target, because again, this is a super close range weapon, 108% multi-shot and 75% reload speed for 15 seconds. So essentially, this solves the reload speed issue that I have with this one and the whole, I want to say, streamline experience of the weapon, as long as Shotgun Vendetta is up, and considering you need to be within 5 meters for it to actually trigger, increasing the fall off of the weapon seems kind of counterintuitive. So we're going to be retesting like so. Only this time, we're not going to be testing on level 50s. We're going to go straight to 165. That's the max I can spawn right now. And we're also going to be enabling the Steel Path modifier. This is a brand new feature that was just added to Warframe minutes ago. And I say minutes, but it's actually been 6 hours worth of stream, so that is that. Yes, I am recording this one live with all you fantastic people that tuned in. We're gonna go for headshots. Keep in mind, this is a galvanized setup, so don't throw off it. Hold on, it's gonna stack, and after it stacks, it's not gonna be completely horrible. Now, if I was to go shot by shot, 1, 2, 3. That's usually what it takes to kill a level 165 corrupted heavy gunner with the Steel Path modifiers on. And if I were to turn off the Steel Path modifiers, then it's going to be taking 1 to 2 shots to kill one of these heavy duty targets. You gotta bear in mind, those Steel Path modifiers make a big difference if you're going to go for a raw damage approach. The higher the level of the enemy, obviously, the higher the AHP, the harder it will be for me to get consistent damage on them targets. So what you can do is go for the Vital Slash approach, which I really don't want to do, but I guess it is worth showcasing at the end of the day. So a build would look something like this. And what you got on the build are the two 60-60 mods, Toxic Barrage and Frigid Blast. The two will be forming Vital together, and we also got Sweeping Serration simply to bring up the value of the slash on the weapon for that proc priority, for that elemental weight. We retained our Repeater Clip and Prime Cleanse Corrupted as well. Now here's the thing, here's a trick that you can employ. You can use Toxic Barrage and Frigid Blast, essentially the 60-60 Vital mods, unupgraded, and you're gonna bring down the value of your vital, which is fantastic because that means in theory more slash procs, but what you're doing, you're also lowering the overall status chance of the weapon, so that's gonna mean less slash count on the target as well. So do bear that one in mind. Wait, do we have enough flat damage? We might change the arcane in this case. Flat damage from Galvanized Savvy, and that's it. No, we got Galvanized Savvy Prime Employing Blank. An option here in this case, if your targets are gonna be dying more than 5 meters away from you consistently, you can go for something like Primary Merciless, but for the time being I would keep it to Vendetta. More multi-shot means more slash on the target. Multi-shot is the best thing on everything anyway. Same targets as before, and as before we're gonna have to stack it a little bit. Stack it. Stack it, baby, one more time. But that's enough without stackage. I killed it without stackage, but now stackage is here. Look at the vital count, look at the procs. More than enough vital. I don't need that many. That's a single shot on the target. I think it's gonna bring the target down. 1%, baby. 1%. Now, if you want to be sure you're gonna kill your targets, you're gonna have to place around 2 shots. But right now, with this build, mathematically speaking, it is possible to get a 1 shot, as you saw earlier. Well, almost a 1 shot there. And these are still 165 corrupted heavy goons with the steel path modifiers turned on, which is pretty significant. That's 6 slashes and 3 vitals on the target. It's gonna bring the target down to about 10%. So yes, a build like this will obviously work better, and that's gonna be your 1 shot, your 8 slashes and 8 vital procs, completely annihilating that target. If you wanna build like this, there's nobody stopping you, right? You can go for something like this if you really must have the absolute most power you want out of the weapon. But I hear what you're saying, dude, just headshot standing still targets? We want to see actual steel path gameplay. Well, that argument is losing more and more meaning nowadays because you do have the modifier right here. But you know what? I'm going to slowly transition you out of that one for the time being. Back to the path of steel. Welcome to the Void, my friends. Now let's see what the weapon can do against level, whatever these are, 130-ish. We're looking at the Corrupted in Steel Path. The weapon is unstacked now, but it's still 1 shots without any issue whatsoever. You're gonna see the performance. It is not bad. You're gonna be able to 1-shot most targets. This is not a most target. This is a Corrupted Heavy Goon, and that one got exploded as well. So the performance of the weapon is really not all that bad. Again, when it comes to trash targets, something weak, you're gonna get the 1 shot just from the contact damage alone, and from a heavy target, you're gonna kill it with your procs and all whatnot. Now this target did survive thanks to those little things. These little things, these annoying little shield generators, they mitigate a whole lot of damage. Now the combat experience, or the actual gameplay experience for this one, is reminiscent of the... what's it called? That fantastic shotgun that has airburst. Airburst, it's its secondary, I forgot. Current, that's it. If the current would suck, essentially this would be a sucky current experience in gameplay without the secondary fire mode. But I can't really blame the weapon. It does perform well enough. My problem with it, that huge spread, look at it. I mean, that huge spread by default means I need to get close and personal. Just like Shotgun Vendetta needs to be triggered within 5 meters of the target. So here's the thing. If I'm gonna be this close to my target, I might as well swing a bloody meaty. That's the honest truth. Now let's see that capture target, see how fast we can annihilate its world, and then we're gonna do ourselves a nice acolyte, but not before this Corrupted Heavy Goon level 138. You got 6 slashes, 5 vitals, and the target is gonna get deleted. Always keep an eye on your Shotgun Vendetta, because that one has a tendency to drop off if you're gonna be killing your targets not within the 5 meter range. Where was that? Oh yeah, where's that stupid capture target? It's supposed to be here somewhere. Is this the capture target? I think so. It's here somewhere. There we go, we got him. Now, for that acolyte. Who hooked me? How dare you hook me? Who are you to hook me? Where's the guy? Here's the guy. Oh, it's the bubble guy. And I think I dodged out of the way exactly at the opportune time. Let me stack my gun. Come at me, brah. Here she is. It is, I don't know, he, she, it. Are you gonna fire an opticore at me? Dude, I made the build for that. Hashtag D build. I used to love the opticore when I was like a younger Tenno and all whatnot. I still love it to this day, but it's just, it can't really perform fantastically well. Still a decent weapon though. Where'd he go? He tries to kill me. Why you always try to kill me? Stand still. I think he slowed me down or something. Oh, he tried the bubble again? Double bubble? Double bubble? What's that? Team Rocket? Was a bubble and make it double? It was trouble? It wasn't bubble? I think pretty much it was bubble. Come on. Come on, gun. Kill it. Hold on, let me stack Vendetta. Let me stack Vendetta. There you go. Now I got the multi-shot. The bastard died to procs. Well, there you go, my friends. Not the best showing of the weapon, but if you were to use the flat damage build we showcased earlier, you would have done significantly better. Dead. We're gonna be unpausing the target so they can hit me and I can get my glorious buffs. And as per usual, we're gonna be using Lady Mirage Prime for those outstanding buffs. And Power for Mirage and her free ability for a massive Eclipse buff. And one more time for the ever so lovely clones. Beautiful Animashu and all whatnot. Now, these are still corrupted heavy goons level 165 with that Steel Path modifier. But now with Mirage in play, obviously the damage is gonna be significantly higher. As for the weapon itself, well, my friends, what can I tell you? It's not one of the best weapons in the game. You didn't need me to tell you that, right? You saw the showcase. You do have some build diversity to it. You can go slash, or you can go, if you really, really want to, you can go for raw damage. I prefer the raw damage approach, and it's gonna be better against something like an Acolyte. But here's the thing, I wouldn't really recommend the weapon in general. It's not a fantastic weapon, and even though it's low MR, because it's only MR 8, at the Mastery rank 8, there are plenty of other better weapons. The only saving grace that this thing has is the one thing that I don't care about it, and that's gonna be those melee buffs that the weapon can bring to the table, and that's realistically the only reason you should use this weapon. And I do believe, my friends, that is pretty much it. As always, my name is Lazer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. If you got any feedback for me, I would love to read it in the comment section down below. And if you love the content and you want to help us keep making it, consider supporting us via Patreon. There's going to be a link in the upper right portion of the screen right about now. But until next time, my friends, bye-bye.